our programs? Transmitting on the Star Times platform 24 hours.
Àwọn onímọ̀ nípa ètò ẹ̀kọ́ lórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà.
Hukumar tara kudaden haraji ta ƙasa.
Alanye na ọchịchị mba United Arab Emirates UAE.
The only channel that speaks your language.
Anyị ga-eweta akụkọ gbasara ọrịa ahụ nke wakporo obodo anyị.
Kálejì, mo kọ́kùnrin, mo kóbìnrin, mo kí ọmọdé, mo sì kí àgbàlagbà.
Mu yi kokari mu sauke nauyin alƙawarin da muka ɗauka.
Service of the NTA.
Life indeed is a beauty to live when all expectations are met. In a bid to meet your expectations of us, we welcome you to another refreshing package of Nigerian movies today. I am Adetoke Akinkolu. Without much ado, let's go straight to our movie.
Our movie of the week is one which looks at family issues, societal stereotypes, and its effects on individuals. A 2017 drama thriller film, What Lies Within chronicles a period of 24 hours in the life of a happily married woman and her pregnant sister-in-law, who are unwillingly thrust into the center of an incident which could have far-reaching consequences on their lives and those of their loved ones. Written by Paul Utomi and directed by Vanessa Nzediegu, this movie parades a cast of Michelle Dede, Paul Utomi, Ebele Okaro, Tokpe Tedela, Kiki Omeli, Oke Uzoishi, Vanessa Nzediegu, Ken Eriks, to mention a few.
What can I do? She's my mother-in-law. Has either of you seen your brother?
Iriti, are you okay?
Yes.
You little witch. How the hell am I supposed to explain that my wife hits me and I'm powerless to do anything about it?
Iriti, are you there?
Produced by the trio of Tokpe Tedela, Vanessa Nzediegu and Paul Utomi, What Lies Within tells the story of how a murder occurred and how those behind it do their best to ensure they are not found out. This film, however, is not really about the murder. Rather, it runs deeper in trying to raise the dust of some family and relationship issues, some of which are domestic violence and the cliché mother-in-law menace.
Week in, week out, we strive to meet your expectations and standards, especially on issues concerning the Nigerian movie industry. Today is no exception. We urge you to join us as we meet our exclusive guest on the show.
Our exclusive guest this week is an actor, a producer, writer, director, voiceover artist, and model. Born on 6 October 1981 in faraway Spain in Europe, Paul Chibuzo Utomi had his early education at Viqueen and Little Talent Nursery and Primary School, Lagos. Secondary education was split between three schools: Legacy Secondary School, Oxford College and Chrisland College, all in Lagos, while his tertiary education was at the Lagos State University, Ojo, where he studied economics and graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree. The second of four children born to parents who are both entrepreneurs, Paul Utomi, an indigene of Ibuzo in Delta State, began acting professionally in 2011 after taking a course in directing and acting at the late Amaka Igwe Center for Film and Video Excellence. Prior to this, Paul Utomi had worked as a writer and presenter for a sports media outfit, while also doing several voiceover jobs. An actor who is noted for bringing on his A game to his jobs, Paul Utomi has featured in several productions for both film and television. They include Heroes and Zeros, Iterum, Don't Look Back, Believe, Apostates, The Hunt for Diamond Jones, The Call, Before 30, Lekki Wives, Tarima, Moth to a Flame, and What Lies Within, which is his latest work. In recognition of hard work and dedication, Paul Chibuzo Utomi has received nominations and awards. Some of these are TAF 2017 nomination for Best Actor, Bond 2017 nomination for Best Actor in a Leading Role for the movie What Lies Within, TAF 2017 award for Best Actor in a Leading Role, and many more.
Joining us in the studio for exclusive guest segment, we have a writer, a producer, a director, an actor. He's a voiceover artist. He's a whole lot packed into one. Please join me in welcoming Paul Utomi. How you doing?
I'm good.
And yes, he models too. He's a fine boy. He has
I wish.
How you doing?
I'm fine. It's
good to have you.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yeah. I read something that Judith had to say about you, and she was particular with a use of a choice of words, and she referred to you as a wow actor.
Oh.
How does that make you feel?
I'm humbled. I don't know if dark-skinned people blush.
You can turn pink right now. Oh, it's incredible to see that. I mean, someone in the same industry refer to another person as such, and that shows how much of a great actor you are. So what is that one thing you would say singles you out?
I don't know that it does single me out, but it helps. Because if you work hard, you pay attention to details, and you're willing to listen to the director and your fellow actors, then you should be fine.
So you consider yourself fine?
No, I think I'm a work in progress. I am constantly learning. I have a lot to learn. Yeah.
But what are those things you would say you've learned? I mean, 2011 till now, it's quite a time as well.
Yeah.
So what would you say that you keep referring to use each time you have to get on a new project?
Yeah. Basically, I studied acting under Amaka Igwe, and she believes you don't act, you become, and you believe. So I try to do just that in front of the camera. You take on a role, you understand the character's mindset, you understand what he or she is going through at that point in time in your life. You understand what motivates them. And if your character is the type of person who understands the other person in the scene, or the other characters in the scene, you tend to understand what motivates the other players in that scene, or what might motivate them. And those things are always at the back of my head every time I hear action.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, great. So, but then you'd agree with me that producing, directing, writing is different from acting.
Yes.
And then we find people who actually are doing all of this and still acting in the same movie.
Yes.
Yes. So how has it been for you, directing, writing?
It's hectic. It's hectic because writing is different from directing, which is different from producing, which is different from acting. They're all entirely different kettles of fish. So sometimes you feel the need to do all of these things. You may not succeed, but you can try. You hope you do a decent job every time you take on a task.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the kind of movie people make now. And before we started this, I was asking if you were making money off it and all of that, and if you would like to do something else. And you talked about, the industry could be. I mean, I've spoken to one or two people who said they got on a particular set, and then the movie maker, the producer, they're just like, you know what, just do it. And then no substantial amount is given to them. So do you think that some of this movie that we call hungry, let's just do it, it kind of waters down the content, or how good we can say a movie is?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because when you say let's just do it, let's just rush through it, you're bound to make a lot of mistakes in front of the camera, behind the camera, in pre-production and in post, because everybody's lax. We just want to get it over with. But sometimes when you understand that you don't have much, and you have very limited resources to work with, it might bring out the best in some people. I mean, some of the greatest films in the world were made on a tight budget, both home and abroad. Films like The Blair Witch Project, The Deep Blue, were made on a shoestring budget. Even Tarantino's first film, Reservoir Dogs, was made on a very tight budget, but it's a classic. 12 Angry Men was shot in basically one location. It's a timeless classic. Every aspiring director has to see 12 Angry Men.
Okay.
In every film school, from here to Cairo to the USA, ask young directors. They tell you they saw it in film school. And it was shot in one location. 12 men in a room.
So why is it that Nollywood movie makers, practitioners are quick to talk about budget, money, funding? If you say, okay, why is a movie not coming right? And, you know, they just go round, and then it boils down to funding.
Yes. Funding is actually a big problem in Nollywood, to be very honest, to be very candid. Because the truth is, when we say a foreign film, you take The Blair Witch Project, which was shot on almost nothing, it cost $500,000 to make. To them, that's almost nothing, basically. What that means is their feeding allowance for one day is the entire budget of a Nigerian film, of the average Nigerian film. Just their feeding allowance for one day. That's basically what it is. So we have to do what they do on that scale with less, with much, much less. And that is almost impossible.
So what would you also consider as issues that, you know, do not make a movie come out great?
Attention to detail, casting, the script. Because at the end of the day, if you want to tell a good story, it starts with the type of story you're willing to tell. How good is the story? The script, the script, the script. The script is essential. It is key. It is everything. If you have 100 million and you have a terrible script, you're going to probably make a terrible film.
Okay, so now I want to ask about actors, cast, but then first I want to ask about, because you produced the movie too.
Yes.
You could produce What Lies Within. Yeah,
yes.
Great. I cannot wait to see it anyway.
Me too.
Okay, so would you say that producers, movie makers are limited to a